Excuse me, I think I pressed go too prematurely. I'm just finishing some lunch. So how are you today? Have you slept? Have you eaten? Are you well? I don't know about you, but I'm not sleeping well again. I think it's the weather. It's a bit yucky. But anyway, I thought I'd come and show you some more of my vintage laces that I didn't show you yesterday. And some of my ribbons. After, I've just got skin peeling off. I think it's from, not that I often use that finger, I usually use that finger from pushing needles. Got a big callus there and there from pushing needles through fabric. Anyway, if you saw yesterday's video, I decided that I would gently soak the vintage laces that I shared, and didn't go to plan. I did the laces and the ribbons that I showed you that were heavily stained, and I had a beautiful white vintage ribbon with silver through it. And even though it's a very mild oxygen bleach that I used, it has bleached the silver out of the ribbon, and a couple of the other ribbons have gone from pink to orange, and yeah, they've changed colours, so I'm a bit disappointed. Most of the laces, however, have come up very, very well. I still haven't pressed them, they're still drying. But now I'm hesitant to do the other laces I have. But I thought I'd share with you, I have a couple of things that I've decided to list in my D-stash. And the first one is a vintage, I think you'd probably call it a half slip. It's going to be very hard for me to show you here. This is the waistband, obviously. I believe this is handmade. It has, this is where the elastic's been stitched into the waistband. It does still have a little bit of elasticity to it, but I think it probably needs replacing. It does have a press stud here and a hook and eye here. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 panels from the waistband to here down. Let me see if I can find my tape measure. So from the waistband to the next section, it's not quite 30 centimetres, so 29 and a half, 29 centimetres. It has another band all the way around it that measures about 18 centimetres, and there's a pin tuck here which will potentially give you another 2 centimetres. Yeah, if you need a bit of extra length. And then it has this lovely broderie border, broderie anglaise border, which is another 22 centimetres deep. So, all told, from the top of the waistband to the bottom of the broderie. It is approximately about 70 centimetres long, and then the waist is, when it's done up, it currently measures about 13, 40, 80, about 78 centimetres around diameter. And then you could potentially add another, if you wanted to move the press stud, you could potentially add approximately another 16 centimetres to the waist. It is sort of an A, you know, it's shaped like this, it flares out. I can't find any marks on it. I have soaked it and pressed it. I cannot see any marks on it. I can't see any damage on it. So I don't know from the measurements, I haven't looked them up, what size that would be, but looking at the size of that waist, I would say maybe a size 10, 8, and then if you let it out, maybe up to a size 12. I'd have to look up the measurements, I'm not sure, I'm guessing. So that is, I've done quite a bit of extensive research on its age, and it could be anywhere from the 1950s to the 80s, but I'm guessing it's more likely 70s, 80s construction. So I will be listing that for sale if anyone's interested. And the second one I have that I'm hesitant to part with because I really like it. I've got 3 others that I'm not ready to part with yet, but I have a full slip, or I don't know if you'd use it as a nightie or a petticoat, or you could even wear it as a dress. And it's absolutely lovely. This is the bust, obviously, with this lovely peak up here. Now this one does have a couple of marks on it, and I'm not sure if I've brushed it with something as I've walked past while I was drying it. So these may come out. I could potentially wash it again, but I have soaked it, and then I walked past with something, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if I've wiped that on there or not. Maybe I haven't, maybe because I just saw another spot here too. And I could have potentially scorched it with my iron because I've got a terrible habit of doing that, and that usually washes out as well. Now this one, it does have a couple of rust spots up the top here. These tiny little bits, they're definitely rust spots. Now this is a bit unusual, this one. It is a purchased garment. It's a Lynn made brand. It says it's non-iron, which I assume means it's wrinkle free. I looked these up, and these could be anywhere from some information said from the 30s, but I wouldn't go back further than the 50s, to be honest. But again, I'm guessing this would probably be 60s, 50s, 60s, maybe 70s. Now this is a size 44. I don't know what size that converts to. The bust size looks quite large to me. I would imagine that would potentially be a B, maybe even a C cup. maybe even a bit more. It's not small. Now what's interesting about this one is these shoulder straps have been added to. So the original shoulder strap is still underneath here, and then this wide piece of lace has been added to the top. It's been hand stitched. Oh well, it's been hand stitched down the centre, but it's been machine stitched here. Then when we go around to the back, this again, this has that lovely, you can see the bust in the top here. This again has that lovely, I don't know, what would you call it? It's not a sweetheart. I don't know what that's called. This lovely shape here under the bust. When we go around to the back now, there is a section here where the stitching has come undone. I think it was just stitched a bit too close to the edge. That should be easily repairable. It's just where it's missed the stitching, to be honest. When we come around to the back of it here, we've got the back panel here, but again, and then this would be the original broderie edging, but then it has been, the back piece has been extended with another piece of lace. It's been finished off quite nicely. It's unusual, but it's nice. And then it's got the 6 panels again. Sorry, it's got 4 panels on this one. So 2 around the sides over the hips and 1 at the front and 1 at the back. It then has this lovely, I'm showing you the back at the moment, another beautiful piece of vintage broderie anglaise lace edging. The more I look at this one, the more I'm starting to think it might be more 1970s originally. It's a lovely quality cotton fabric. Now this one is quite a bit larger, so I would think, looking at it, and I am out of practice, it could potentially be up to a size 16, possibly 18, but let's have a look at the measurements. So the measurement directly under the bust is about 105 centimetres all the way around. Under the arm it is about, this is hard to measure, so under the arm we're looking at about the same measurement, about 105 centimetres. From the, oh, I don't know how to measure this bit. Let's go from the right under the bust here, from the breastbone, all the way down to where the frill starts is about 46 centimetres, and then there is an additional 28 centimetres in the lace piece. So I will be listing that one available as well if anyone's interested in that. As I mentioned earlier, there are some small marks on it, barely noticeable, and there's that one section under the arm where the stitching's come away a fraction. But apart from that, I can't see any other damage to it. There's no large visible marks anywhere. Right, what was I going to show you now? I think I'll show you some of my, I don't have many more vintage ribbons, but I thought I'd show you some that I do have. There's not actually any vintage ones up here like I thought there was. This is a milliner's ribbon, potentially silk, and it has a copper wire edging, So that one's quite old. And this one I believe is probably from the 70s or 80s. And this purple grosgrain, I can't for the life of me remember where I got that from, but I have 30 metres of it. I've got a few vintage grosgrains in there, and the vintage ones, the quality is just so much more superior compared to the modern ones. This black one, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's not anywhere near as stiff as the modern grosgrain. It's almost silky, and I believe this was Milliner's Supplies, this one. Some of the others may have been as well. Some of these are ribbons I bought when I was scrapbooking. Some of them, I don't know why I've got that dotty one, because I don't like things like that. That's a piece of tape. This is a new one I bought recently. This is probably my most recent purchase. I really like that one, the floral one. And then I've got, this is actually, I found this box at Christmas time. It's actually designed to put your ribbon on this bar that they're on, and then there's slots here that you can stick the tails out so you can keep them protected. And then there's a spot under here with some more. Now you probably would have seen these the other day. I showed these ones the other day when I got them. They're vintage. I love this. This is a little vintage one. I don't have much of it, but it's absolutely adore that one. What else have I got in here that's vintage? This is another one that I love that's vintage, a little edging. Look at the colour of it. It's filthy dirty. Goodness knows where it's been. Someone's given me that one. This is a sort of vintage one. I've rolled them onto this. I had a heavy cardboard tube and I rolled them on and cut slices off to try and keep them a bit organised. Another little vintage one. Again, that one looks a bit grubby. I'm not game enough to soak any of these now after what happened with the ones I did last night. Another little, these little woven ones are always really neat. This one is incredibly interesting. This was in a bag of other stuff I got, and when I first got it I just thought it was a bit of this cotton tape, you know, that tape that you use for all sorts of things that's been around forever. Dad used to have it in pink when he was drafting. I don't know if it was for drafting or just an office supplies thing. I should see if he's still got any of the pink. He used to have rolls of it. That's what I thought this was, but then on closer inspection it's actually got little, looks like it's hand stitched, like a feather stitch all the way along it. So that one's really cute. The others are just modern grosgrains in there. This is one I've had for quite a few years. It's not vintage. I think I bought it at one of the craft fairs in Sydney many years ago. Don't remember what I bought it for though. This is my one and only sterling thimble. I think this was my grandmother's. It's so tiny. I'm sure that came from her place. I've got a few of these I've had for years. These are actually got sticky double-sided tape on the back of them. I've got this one I've had for years that I've used in a lot of my projects, and that is not accurate at all, which bugs the life out of me. So you can see that's nowhere near an inch. It's 2 of those strokes short of an inch. And then I got this recently that I absolutely adore, and I think I might start using it in some of my needle books. It's just a vintage pure wool tape, so I love that. Oh, this twill, did I tell you that was from Typo many years ago? I've had it for years, but I love that. I've used that quite a few times. So there's some of my ribbons that I've been trying to organise more recently. I need to get another one of these boxes, I think. Now, I had all those pieces in there earlier, and now I can't fit them back in. Of course. Okay. What else can I show you? I've got some more vintage laces that I was going to show. I have shared these before, but I absolutely adore them, so I'll show them again. I don't know what they were, and this is how they were given to me. I have soaked these, and I did think all the stains came out, but they're appearing again. Aren't they fabulous? I'd love to do something with them. I don't know what. I'm very... you can see they're coming undone. I don't know what I can do with them. Potentially, the only thing I think I could possibly do is frame them as they are, because I think they're just fabulous. So I've got those two. Oh, I'm sitting on the edge of this stool again. Okay, this is a... Is there two in there? Or is it just a piece? I've got this lace, which isn't one of my most favourite laces, so I would potentially be prepared to sell some of this by the metre if anyone's interested in buying some of this lace. I do use this sometimes for gifts. Let's see, this is funny, isn't it? There's this odd bit up this end. How far is that going to go? Indefinitely by the looks. So I might wind that back on. I thought it might have been a piece I could just pull off and show you, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, there was a pin in that, and I've lost the pin now. So here's that lace. I don't know what it is. It's not cotton. It is... I thought it might have been written on here, but it's not. It's some kind of... I don't know. Man-made material, I guess. But as you can see, I've got a bit of that, so I am happy to sell some of this by the metre if anyone would like some of that lace. It is quite pretty. Okay. Then I've got this one. This one, as you can see, has quite a few stains on it. And I don't have as much of it, but I could potentially sell a small amount of this if anyone's interested. I would like to keep some, but it is a very pretty lace, this one. Again, not cotton. So I could potentially have up to, let me have a look. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 meters of that one available. There's not a huge amount there. And potentially I could even sell it in as small as, I don't know, what's this? So that's 20 centimeters to there. I don't think I'd go any smaller than 20 centimeters at a time. If anyone would like to purchase any of that one. I don't think any of the rest I have are available for sale though. I'd like to keep all of the next lot, I believe. I do have this one. I might sell a little bit of this one, maybe. I'll have to think about it. A cotton broderie. I've got a bit of that one. This one I only got a week or so ago. So this one is not available. Look at that. This was off a cot sheet. I'm just trying to work out which is the front and which is the back. I think that's the front. So it's quite, as much as I tried to not damage it as I was unpicking it, it was quite worn. So a beautiful piece of vintage or at least retro lace. I think it's possibly, I originally thought maybe 70s, might be a little bit older. I've got this lovely piece that I've had for a while, and I've used quite a bit of this. I don't have that much left. I've been using this one for a few years now. You can see there's bits cut out. And it's funny, I get to a certain point and I think, why did I use that? I wish I hadn't have used that. Then I've got this piece of broderie. This is only a small piece. It's wide, but there's not a lot of it. There we go. It's a bit damaged down there. That one. This came off a dress I used to have that just fell apart. I wore it until it fell apart. That was around the bottom of the dress. I don't know how long ago I bought that, maybe 10, 15 years ago, but yeah, I just wore it and wore it until it disintegrated on me. Okay, what else is in here? This one, now that looks like a piece off that spool, that second spool, I think. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should move the stool in a bit. I'm sitting right on the edge of it. I'm going to apologise beforehand for bumping the camera if I bump it again, which I probably will. Oh, goodness me. So there's another piece of that. That really is a nice lace, that one. I think I was going to use that. I don't remember why that's cut off now. I was going to use it as a tie around a needle book. I don't remember which needle book, but I've obviously changed my mind. So it was going to be used as a tie around the needle book. So how much is that piece? About 92 centimetres, that one. There's some stains on it. Okay, what else is in here? Look, that's that same lace. I must have cut that off because it was stained. I'll have to see if I can soak that. This is a piece I've been using in needle books as pockets. In fact, I've used the same one in this needle book here. That's that lace. That came off a tablecloth. And the reason it was cut off is because this bit here where it had attached had all deteriorated. So I've just cut that off and used it in needle books. There's a bit of a stain, look, there's a bit of a frayed edge there. That's probably why I haven't used that bit. Okay. Here's a lovely piece with hearts on it. There's some stains on it too. Some of these would be quite old, I'd imagine. Some I'm starting to learn are older than I thought they were. So some that I thought were probably as old as 20s are actually a lot older. This isn't a big piece, it's just that. It's been used in something because it's sewn over there. This is a special piece, look at this. Wow, look at that one. And 99% of these that I'm showing you, these small pieces, that's all I've got. That's it. This is a very soft, like a bobbin lace cotton. It's very soft, that one. That's all I've got of that piece. Try and get this bag open. These poor bags, they've split down the sides, and look at that. I think I had a piece of this in that other lot I showed yesterday because I remember the edge had frayed. I don't know what this is made of. It's not cotton, but it's quite an interesting thread, and it's not modern. It's not overly modern, that's for sure. A delicate little one, that one. It's quite interesting. I wish I had more knowledge on how to date some of these. I don't know how I could educate myself on them either. I do Google things, but without actually seeing some of these laces in person to learn about them, it's quite difficult to learn about their age. I do have more of this one that I showed yesterday. Again, that's another one that reminds me of underwear lace. Heavier cotton, like a bobbin lace cotton edge. This one reminds me of the ones you'd get in the cheap shop. It probably isn't, but it reminds me of those. This is a lovely piece. It's quite unusual. It's got that cord woven through it. Well, it's not actually cord, it's just groups of that cotton. That's interesting. Look at that. It's a bobbin lace. Look at that. Again, not much of that one at all. That's it. Just all of what? 40 centimeters. Here's another beautiful, this is very old, this piece. This looks like a French lace to me. I have seen some, and it feels incredible. The feel of this, it almost feels like silk or velvet even. It's absolutely stunning, this lace. You can see it's been cut off something, but it's absolutely spectacular, this one. I'd say it's possibly come off a sheet maybe, because the quality of that is absolutely stunning. It does feel like velvet. It's cotton. I'm pretty sure it's cotton. It could be linen, but I'm pretty sure it's cotton. But it just feels absolutely divine. There's a bit of a wear bit there. Okay, what's this one? Another bobbin lace. Poor little thing needs a bit of TLC. Again, not a huge amount of that one either. Maybe a metre or so, if that. It's nice heavy quality. Another one. Now this is nearly the same pattern as that one, that shiny one I had earlier. See this one? It's almost the same pattern, very similar. This flower or butterfly thing in here is on it, like needle woven, but this one's cotton. And again, only a small amount, as usual. And this one, again, just a small amount. It's a cotton, possibly linen. It could be linen actually. It's a bit hairy. Not that linen's necessarily hairy, but it looks like linen. This is an older piece. Look at this. Quite delicate. Quite fine actually. It might not look that fine through the monitor, but it's quite fine. Again, not a huge amount of that one either. This one, this is joined, so it's come off something. That's it. Possibly off the end of a pillow slip maybe, I don't know, from the size of it. Another heavier cotton. It's funny, that one. It feels quite soft when you start handling it. They've all got such remarkable textures, these laces. This is a hand crocheted piece. I need to finish these off because nearly every piece I pull out that's hand crocheted, once I press them or wash them, they come undone. They haven't been finished off, but I've got this hand crocheted insertion. I'd assume that's an insertion. A very fine, like a torsion lace, bobbin lace. That's very fine, that. Again, only a small amount. This one, cotton. A little bit more of that one. Oh, I forgot to put this on Do Not Disturb. Bear with me. There we go. This is a pretty special little piece. Look at that. Did we have a piece like that earlier? Or is it different? I can't see a piece like it, so maybe it is different. There we go. Again, only not quite half a metre. It's very delicate, that one too. Which I guess is what laces are, aren't they? Look at this one. Now, I thought that was the same as that, but it's not. It's a different pattern again. The one we had 2 or 3 laces ago. Look at that. Look how delicate that one is. Again, only a small amount. Now, this one pattern looks familiar. I keep going back, seeing if they're the same pieces. Look at that, it's the same pattern. Oh, there we go. Oh, did you hear my neck crack then? I certainly heard it and I felt it. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, this is a little... This is how I've been wrapping them to put in the needlebook kits. With a bit of vintage fabric. This is a bit special. I've got something similar to this, but it's more pointy that I shared yesterday. Look at that. I reckon that would... I don't know. I want to say 50s. Maybe it's older. Just look at that though. That's where you weave your ribbon through at the top there. But how fine is that? Very delicate. That looks like... Look at that. There's a join in that. And look how fine it's been. You can barely tell there's a join there. You can only tell because the pattern's a little bit out of whack. But I think someone has hand stitched that join. That's incredible. Oh, there's an edge. That's incredibly fine, that piece. How many times do I say that? I'll keep that bit for a bit. Now, I've got a little bit of this. I might potentially be able to share a couple of meters of this one. Because I've got a little bit of that. What else is in here? Oh, this is another one that I've used a lot of, and I'm kicking myself now because I think this is all I've got left of it. That was a very delicate, you can see there, I might have a little bit more, but I don't know where it is. A little bit of edging. It's got my hair all through it. Don't you hate that? A little bit of cotton edging. That's a cute little edge. Oh, this is just a doily. This is probably one of the ones I was potentially going to have. Look, there's a bit missing. I don't remember cutting that bit off, but it was potentially given to me like this, so that's probably why it's in there. Because there's a medallion missing, I'd say I will potentially cut that up and use those medallions separately. Okay, what's this piece? Oh, this is a stunning piece. I think this came in a kit I bought from Beck, because this is all I've got. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that came in one of the needlebook kits I bought. I don't know what these are. I think I've got 2 of these, but it's just that. Possibly a collar. I don't know. I don't know where the other one's gone. I can't see it from here. But I'm pretty sure I had 2 of those. Another, this is, I washed this doily and it disintegrated. So it was very pretty. I don't know what I can do with it now. I've got a few of these sort where they're small little round ones, either on, that's upside down. What's that stuff called? I always get a mental blank. Either that or linen, and they're pulled away like this, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. Here's a medallion. I like this one, it's 3-dimensional. Here's a bit of an edge. This sort of, it's got a bit of a bend in it. So I wonder if this was sold to use on collars. See how it bends around? Again, only a small amount of that one. Oh, look, I do have more of that. There we go. I love that one. It's very old, it's very fragile. It just sort of, I'll try and show you a little bit. The fabric just pulls apart. Very delicate, that one. And I've got this one. I believe this one's quite old. There is a bloody fly, blowfly, all of a sudden. I don't know where he's come from or what he can smell, but I wish he would go away. Okay, I've got a few other little treasures in here. Little tiny piece of, I believe that's a French lace, that one. I should show you this piece. This is a stunning piece. This has come off a supper cloth or something because it's sewn together in a square. Look at this. Isn't that stunning? This bloody, I wonder what that is. I want to say it's beetroot. I had beetroot earlier, but that was all wrapped up in a plastic crate, so it shouldn't have got my beetroot on it. There are other stains on it, but isn't that stunning? Look at that. That's another treasure. I'm just trying to fold it up now. Folding, folding, folding. There we go. Look at that. I don't know what the heck that is. Could be ink. Okay, then I've got this lovely one. That reminds me of something from the 50s, that one. And then there's two little, I don't like those two there. They're, you know, man-made, synthetic, tacky sort of, I just don't like those ones. Got some more treasures here. Piece of broderie in the plastic wrap still. I think that came from my great aunt's house. She had a garage sale a few years back. Little piece of this one. I think I had another piece of that yesterday in that stash. What have we got in here? No, that's not what I paid for that. These bags have been recycled. A little piece of that one that looks like it was, that's that one that I think might be linen. Little piece of that one, bit of cotton. Again, not a very big piece. Oh, look at this, again, very small piece, but look at that. It's a bit damaged there and there. Not much of it that's usable, but look at that. And then there's this piece. Wow. Sometimes I forget what I've got, so I get quite excited seeing them again. I love this piece. Look at that. They're pretty spectacular, aren't they? Get him back in that bag. Hop. Calling them him today. Yesterday I was calling them her. Isn't that funny? I don't know why I do that. Maybe they are they, them. I don't know. They haven't told me. Okay. And then that little piece can go back in. I've got a feeling that's linen. Okay. There's another little piece that can go in there. What else have we got? Don't yell, please. There's nothing for you to yell at. I don't know why the flies are coming. this one. Stop yelling. It's the neighbours. You need to stop. Don't yell, please. That's very loud. It hurts my ears. If it hurts my ears, it's going to hurt the people that are listening. Can you stop yelling, please? He's just got a ball or something. Take a chill pill. Yeah. Take a chill pill, please. Okay. What else have we got? This one. There's bits of this, which is odd. That one, I had another small bit of that earlier, if you remember. And again, I've got a feeling they might be French laces. Okay, more of that. Oh, that's a silk ribbon. These, I had some of these from years and years and years ago that I used to hand dye, hand paint silk ribbon. I think that's all I've got left. This is one I bought my daughter many years ago that I've never done anything with for her. Doctor Who in the TARDIS. Got this beautiful piece. I think I put a piece of this in one of the needlebook kits recently. Look at that. Love that one. What else is in here? We're still going. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That reminds me of the 50s again too, maybe 60s. Beautiful. Heavy lace, that one. This is similar era. Sort of yellowy mustardy colour. This is a cotton one, and it's a bit damaged. Look at all the silk thread stuck to it. This poor piece. I reckon this is probably potentially 50s as well. I don't know why there's so much silk stuck on it. Oh. It's a big chunky bit, that one. What's happening here? Okay. Come off there. Okay. So this poor bit, as you can see, is quite heavily stained and worn, but it's a heavy, I don't know, no it's not, I was going to call it a guipure, but it's not. It's different again. And then this piece, I've used a lot of this, there's not much of it left. Look at that. That one. Let's put these back in their little bag. Some of these I've had for years, some I've collected, you know. Some came in scrap bags from the second-hand shop years ago. Some would be from my grandmother's because she was a dressmaker. Some would be from, you know, you might just buy a bit this big. But I just keep buying and collecting. Sometimes I'm given some. What else have we got? Here's another piece of that one that we had earlier. That's a lovely one, that one. They always seem to come out and start yelling when I'm recording lately, which is a bit frustrating. I love this piece, and I have used some of this, and this is one I'm kicking myself for using, because this is all I've got left. Isn't that beautiful? That one. This piece. You can see this bit's been cut out. I have used some of these flowers, which sometimes I look at it again and think, why did I do that? That one. Another nice little edging piece, little cotton edging piece. This is a bit finer than the last one I showed you. This looks quite, well, it actually reminds me of something from the 70s, but I think it's a bit more modern. It might not be because it's a bit chunky. And I want to say this is a bit more modern. Another edging piece, woven cotton. Little gathered broderie. Look, this is cute. It's actually got little squares, square eyelets. I mean, they're round eyelets, but they're square edges. Oh, noisy, noisy, noisy. This piece. Can you tell I'm struggling with my tolerance at the moment with some things? That's my issue though. This cute little flower. Look at this one. This is, I believe, a collar. Here we go, look at that. Is that in the screen, in the shot? Look at that. Now that reminds me of something from the 80s or early 90s that my mother would have worn to her executive job. She actually had a navy, drop that plastic bag, she had a navy dress that had a similar collar. I think the collar was a bit finer. And she used to wear it with a little heel and stockings, sheer stockings, to her executive job in the late 80s, early 90s. This is something I bought at a market a couple of years ago and absolutely adored it. I think I've shown this before. And I absolutely treasure this. I don't know what to do with it. It's very special to me. Not that it has sentimental value, but it's quite old. Look at that. Now every single one of those crystals is glass. The beads are all glass. It's all been hand stitched onto there by someone. I absolutely adore it. I don't know what I can do with it. I haven't thought of the right thing yet, but I want to do something that I can keep for myself with this piece because it's just spectacular. It's quite rare to come across pieces like this in Australia. So I think from memory it was a bit more than what I would normally pay for something like that, but I was prepared to pay for it. And mind you, I might have only paid as much as $10. I don't think I even paid that much for it. But that was gorgeous. What else have I got in here? A piece of that. That one, I've seen that one before. Another piece of cotton, small piece. Small piece of this one. We've seen this one before. I'm sitting a couple beside me that I will show you at the end. That's a pretty one. Not much of it. This one's got mouldy. This, from memory, it's all mouldy. I might have to take that out so it doesn't get anything else mouldy. This was on something, if it's not from something I had as a teenager or younger, it's the same as what I had. I've got a feeling this one was given to me recently. So that one's going to have to definitely go in for a bit of a soak. Then I've got this piece. Again, not a very big piece. Lovely woven cotton. This is hand crocheted, but someone's just hacked it off. You see it's just been cut off a tablecloth or a quilt or something. A sheet maybe. It doesn't have, I don't think it's got corners, which makes me think it wasn't a tablecloth. If it was just on one end or something. I'm just rolling it up. So yeah, that one. Piece of this one. I've used a lot of this. Someone gave this to me years ago. Cut off like this. It's a hand crocheted edge, but some areas were cut right up to that edge. I have used a lot of this. I had meters of it and that's all I've got left. I've used that in a lot of my projects, that one. A bit of, what's that called, that braid, can't remember what it's called. A green one. I've had these for quite a few years. I feel like I bought this green one when I was working at the quilt store, possibly. That's some wash away stuff. Okay, what have I got here? This was sent to me recently by Nairi. I'm not sure what it is. I've not seen it before. It's a type of ribbon or braid. It's quite heavy. It's nice. So I've been treasuring that one. Look at these little bits. I've just got little bits here and there. Another little bit. This has been obviously cut off a doily. It's upside down. But that was given to me. This has been cut off a doily. I didn't see that doily, but you can see some of the embroidery and it looks like, look how, unfortunately they've cut right up, cut into that crochet bit. But it looks like grass and leaves and flowers, maybe cobblestones there. More grass, flowers, more flowers. So I don't know what was on that, but that was, someone's cut that off something. I've got this other bit of vintage ribbon I've had for quite some time. Don't remember where I got it from, possibly my grandmother's. Here's another crochet bit that's been cut out. It was given to me. It's interesting. This has got pink on it. The other one had purple. So yes, don't know what's happened there. I've got this lovely vintage jug cover that someone's made. I love these. I wish I had more of them. I probably should start collecting them. And it's got vintage glass beads on it. I do love these vintage jug covers. I should try and get hold of some more of them. I had a couple years ago. I don't know what I ever did with them. I think I might have given them away. They had, one of them from memory had the Opera House crocheted into it. I don't know whatever happened to it. I might still have it somewhere. Then I've got these vintage braids or trims. There's bloody silk threads everywhere. This one reminds me of the 70s again. It's very disc stained too. Look at that one. Again, this reminds me of men's suits, the shirts they wore in the 70s. I can't remember where that one came from. Possibly my grandma again. Can't remember. Another piece. I had a purple piece of this yesterday, or similar. This reminds me of my 1980s era Barbie doll, because she had those colours. She had dark skin and this beautiful crystal dress, and she used to remind me of Marsha Hines. And then this lovely one too. It doesn't look much. Sometimes I overlook it, but then when I look at it closer, look, it's got all this gimp stitched into it. It's quite nice when you look at it closely. Had that for years as well. So there's that. And there's this. This is a lovely, it's very stained, but another gorgeous. This is on I don't know if it could potentially be linen, this, because it feels different. It's not cotton. But look at the stains on it. I don't know if I'll be able to rescue this one. Maybe I should attempt to. I'm a bit scared now after what happened with the last lot. So got that one, and then a little crocheted medallion. This is the pin cushion I made recently out of a medallion and an old piece of old blanket. I probably should list that because I do have a bit more here. Got this little piece of coloured broderie. Again, not much, just a small bit. That's a bit 70s, I reckon, maybe 80s. And I've got these. I like these, again covered in silk threads. Got some yellow ones similar to that too. Not much as usual. This one, again, not much. Oh, this is pretty. I don't know if this is a French lace or a... Oh, look at that. It's not that one I had on the reel, is it? No, it's not. It's very different. But yeah, look at that. Not much of that one either. And I've got, where's the end? And I've got this one. I'm trying to get this one stuck together. Again, it has silk threads on it. Another one of these, different pattern again. Again, not much. Don't know why most of these are such tiny little pieces, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Another fine bobbin lace. Is that what it is? Bobbin lace, I think. Then I've got, let's do this one next, another crocheted insert that someone's done, possibly for a towel edging. What's that? Let's have a look. About 64 centimetres, that bit. Is that what size towels would have been? They weren't big, were they? Especially in the 60s and 70s and 80s even. Another crocheted edge. Look at that. It's just been cut off. Few stains on that one. More silk thread. There's that one. Then I've got these. I've only got one of these. These were given to me recently. One little silk bootie. Just the one that someone's crocheted. This, what have I got? A crocheted medallion. Got one. Trying to look for the front. 2, 3 by the looks of those. And then I've got these, and these are unusual. They're like bobbin lace combined with crochet. I've never seen anything like these before. They were obviously, someone was going to use them to create something. I've got a few of those. Oh, someone started an extra edge on this. I didn't notice that one. So they've started to crochet around the outside of this medallion, and I'm assuming they were then potentially going to join more in. Oh, look at that, I didn't notice that either. There's a bit of that. I thought it was bobbin lace, but I'm not sure now. So I've got a couple of those I could potentially sell off, you know, maybe 4 or 5 of those medallions. Then I've got this stunning, absolutely stunning lace collar. This has to be old. I don't even know how to show this. This is the centre back. Look at that. can't even get it in the... I'd like to make myself something with this. Look at this. Over the shoulders, there's a little bit of damage there. Needle batten, like it's tape lace, but there's all needle woven by hand. Someone's made this by hand. It's absolutely stunning. So yes, I've got that as well. It's very delicate. That was a recent acquirement, that one. Then I've got a couple of little treasures in here. Oh, I've got, hang on, what's this? Another piece of lace that I missed. This one. And then these were my grandmother's, a little hand crocheted compact case. Look at that. Look at, isn't that gorgeous, this trim on the lining? I love that. So that was that was my grandmother's. This little needle book was hers. Silk. Look at the ribbon though. I should try and clean these up a little bit. It's got these beautiful, I think they were flowers in there. It's hard to discern now. Yeah, look. Little flowers. And someone's hand stitched a little silk rosebud on there. It's like, that reminds me of upholstery fabric on the back. And then it's got, oh goodness, it's been eaten since I've last looked at it. Ah, what the heck? Bloody moths in it. That's very upsetting. I had this packaged up. I could replace that. I do have some vintage doctor's flannel, but look at that, it's bloody been eaten, the shits. So I had this in a plastic lunch bag, and it was in a plastic box, and they've still gotten into it. And I even had, well, I can't get, oh, I've been having trouble getting mothballs. I think I need to try and get some mothballs again. And this was another, I think this was a compact case as well that was my grandmother's. Look at that. Just gorgeous. So I've got those, and I've got these. I bought these a couple of years ago. Haven't even taken them out of the bag because even though I've got a bowl of wooden bobbins that were my grandmother's, I don't think I had any this size, so I bought these ones as well. JP Coates, Mercer. What's that one? J&P Coates, J&P Coates, Mercer Cotton. So I love this little size that I very rarely see. So that's some more of my lace collection. I will have other bits hidden here and there in other, I'm still going through everything. So I think at this stage I'll be going through my things for the next 12 months, the rate I'm going, because I just keep finding more and more than what I thought I had. Yeah, so hopefully I will get this all sorted. I'd love to have it all sorted by this time next year, because I do have a lot of sorting to do. like I said the other day, this is about, I think this is about 5 or 6 weeks worth of work, and I haven't even scratched the surface. I'm incredibly proud of how much I have achieved though, and I'm also quite surprised at how much I have collected. So keep an eye on that destash page, because I will keep adding things as I keep finding them. Now, another thing I wanted to share with you today is I have not gotten a great deal more done on my needle books. I did put this together last night, but I'm not sure about it. I'm not convinced I like it. I have stitched it together like this. Originally I was thinking I would put it in a needle book like this, stitch it down, and then put buttons here. They're not square though, so that's a bit of an issue. Put buttons here and use these as little envelope pockets, like Kathleen did in hers. But I'm not sure, they're only going to be small. I'm not sure if I like it, not sure if it's going to work. The other thing I could potentially do is stitch it in like this somehow, which isn't really much different, is it? Potentially stitch it in, which, yeah, it's not really any different, to be honest. So I did stitch all that together out of a little napkin and some vintage sheet. Don't know if I will use that yet now, because I'm just not convinced it's going to work. The other thing I did was, I've got this, I think I showed you this vintage linen tea towel yesterday, and I've been darning it. So I did that bit last night. I'm still working on this section here. I've done all that bit there. It's much more time consuming than I thought it would be. So that's what I'm up to. I suppose I could keep working on this a bit while I'm talking to you. I need to push that over a bit. It's gone a bit wonky there. It's very hard to see of an evening. It's hard to see at the best of times. I've got a tail there that I've been weaving in. This area, this spot was a bit easier to do than this one. This was just a big hole, so I had to run the warp and the weft in this one. Like this, these big ones are going to be quite challenging for me. This one still had thread in one direction, so it made it a bit easier to just weave over the top of those bars. I'm not using the correct needle, but I needed one that I could see better with at night. I don't have the best lighting inside. I need to address my lighting, even if I get, well, I do have a better light globe. I got a brighter light globe recently, but where I sit at the table, the light doesn't get into that area as well. So I probably need another. I did have a light on a stand, but it's fallen apart. So I probably should get another lamp to have where I do my stitching. So basically all I'm doing is darning unfortunately I didn't have any linen, so I'm using cotton to do this with. I did start with using a single thread, but it was just a bit too fine, so I moved over to two strands. Why won't that come through? Oh, I see. Okay. Need to move that over. Takes a lot of concentration when I can't see well. And it's hard to keep the alternating threads happening too, especially when some of them sort of disintegrate as you're stitching. I used to always darn my linen tea towels, but it got a bit, ended up getting a bit overwhelming. There was so many to do. So then I just started patching them, stitching patches onto them using like Cantha style stitch. I'm trying to be very gentle because if I pull too tight on these threads, they break. Even just bumping them sometimes is enough. Move over. You'll probably notice I miss some every now and then, and it can be very difficult. Some of those threads are super fine. Okay, where did I just go in there? Yeah. So much concentration happening. So how is your day been today? It's we've got rather mild, oh, I wouldn't say mild isn't the right word. Had a relatively nice day. It's probably mid 30 degrees, but there's been a very mild, not a very mild, there's been a nice coolish breeze. It's warm, but it's not a bad wet day weather-wise. Everything's getting so dry though. I've been thinking about a couple of friends have lost their loved ones in the last couple of days, and it's just so incredibly sad. And I didn't mention anything yesterday because I think I was still processing what has happened. But I'm just so sad for them. So very sad. And then we've got these rather sad things happening within our family, an extended family. There's been deaths in the family in the last couple of days. There's been ongoing other stuff happening, and it's just really sad. And I've realised I've become quite withdrawn because I just don't want to deal with it all. Sometimes I think I just want to buy a van, put my doggo in it and drive and get away. I've done that wrong. I need to come up. But that's not always the answer, as much as I'd like to be able to. My ex used to always knew when he was struggling, because he'd say, "Come on, we're going for a drive." And he would just drive and drive, sometimes for days. We'd just drive, which I learned to enjoy and appreciate. And I do miss the ability to do that now. We had a four-wheel drive, so we'd go off-road sometimes. We did a lot of travelling. Sometimes we'd just drive. We did a lot more driving than sightseeing. We did see some really cool things, but we mainly did driving, which was okay. I was usually the passenger, 99% of the time the passenger, because he used to like to drive. I mean, I used to like to drive too, but he used to like to drive. So that was his meditation, I guess. So as the passenger, I used to see a lot as we were driving through, and I often used to get the opportunity to do either stitching or spinning in the car as well, sometimes knitting. I learned how to use a drop spindle so I could spin in the car. I used to drag around my spinning wheel, but that wasn't, like, I had an upright, and that just was not practical to use in the car while we were driving, so I learned to use a drop spindle and a support spindle as well, which was pretty cool. But from now on, if I take them with me, I'll only be using them when I stop, because obviously I can't spin while I'm driving. I have grand plans to buy myself a camper van and travel and go and visit my daughter and her fiance in another state, and potentially go on holidays with my son. And I don't know when that will happen, but That's the dream. Take Willow with me. She used to come in the camper van with us. She loves travelling. She loves people. She loves meeting new people. This might nearly finish this section off, maybe. Get in the right hole. I tell you what, it's a lot easier to see out here than it is inside, naturally. Tomorrow I'm hoping to get a lift to the post office. I've got a couple of parcels to get in. Hopefully I can send some parcels to Canada, but I don't like my chances because on Christmas Eve the postmistress said she didn't expect any to be accepted before the new year, unfortunately. So people in Canada are being incredibly patient. Not that they've got much choice. I've got a loop there that shouldn't be there. Is that the one I need to cut off? That's the one I tucked in and I need to cut off from last night. I need to get some dog food tomorrow. I've run out. I thought I had, well, I was actually hoping I'd be able to stretch it out for 4 weeks instead of the usual 2. But I've run out of barbecued chicken and chicken necks, so I'm going to have to get some more of those. I think I've got everything else she needs at the moment. I could potentially squish that up and do another run through there, but I don't think I want to because it does match the rest of it a bit better, doesn't it? Okay. Time to start ending this off, I think. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of your frame. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish that off now. I might just duck over this side. And weave that up here a bit. Now all I'm doing essentially is just weaving in the tail. I'm not necessarily darning now, I'm just weaving in this tail to try and end it off. Goodness, my bottom's going to sleep again on this stool. Now I'm doing this with the intention of cutting it up to put in needle books. But I didn't want to put sheets in that had holes in them, so I'm trying to repair them, darn them, whatever you want to call it. Probably both are applicable. And a little bit further and then I'll turn again. Okay, what have we got here? I go that way or that way? Might go this way. I should be doing my lawn too, but I've been so tired the last couple of days. I think in the weeks I've been that busy, for months, between trying to improve my health, trying to work out why I've been so sick, going on that medication and discovering I was allergic to it, then discovering I was allergic to the weight loss program I'd been put on, then going to physiotherapy and hydrotherapy twice a week, and then stashing my house and decluttering, or starting that at least, and stressing out about the inspections and Christmas and all the other things that are going on. I think it just caught up to me the last couple of days, and I've just been so tired, and I've slept in. I haven't been able to get to sleep, but then I've slept in way longer than I normally do. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a... Haven't had the energy to do the lawn. I've barely had the energy to even water the garden. I've lost all the work I've done to grow my veggies and my fruit. I've lost all my veggies. So yeah, have to start again. And I could probably snip this off now, because the last 2 or 3 runs I've just done to weave in that tail to hold it, to secure it. I tell you what, I was reading this morning, my dad's family are from a little country town called Tumbarumba, and I used to go there in the holidays. Love it there. It's in the snowy mountains. Absolutely love it. And I've been added to the Tumbarumba page on Facebook because I still have relatives down there. Anyway, I was reading a bit of it this morning, and there was a photograph of this is horrible, but it's also quite fascinating. There was a photograph of a horse that had been impaled on a post and rail fence, and I couldn't work out what the heck it was. It was a very old photograph. It was damaged. The corners were bent off. It was dog-eared, and the person who owned the photo had said that their great-grandfather or their grandfather had given it to them, and it was from a race day in, I think they originally said Cobar, But then someone else got on and said, no, I think you'll find it was West Wyalong. Anyway, the original poster was saying that it looks like the late 1800s, early 1900s, going from the way the gentlemen in the photograph were dressed, and they had big, long, full beards. Anyway, another person said that they had another photograph of it, or they remembered their family had a photograph of it when they were growing up. So these two people were, the original poster said, well, have you still got a copy of that photograph? I'd love to see if it's from a different angle and see if my grandfather's in your photograph. There we go. There's that darned piece finished. So the second person eventually, from what I could understand, couldn't find the photo, didn't know where it belonged. So I went on a bit of a deep dive. I didn't use the photograph, I didn't do a reverse image search, but I think I just Googled horse in New South Wales. So it came up. I found it in the State Library and another library and Trove and a few other places. And what had happened, it was race day at West Wyalong this day. It was 1906. I think it was the 6th of December 1906. And the race had started. The horses were released from the starting gate and a dust storm came up. And the horses couldn't see where they were racing, or neither could the jockeys. And this poor horse ran straight into the barrier rail, and this round pole about this thick impaled it in the front of its chest and went through its entire body, and they measured just over 3 foot, so a metre had come out the back end of this horse. It died on scene. Absolutely horrendous thing. Can you imagine witnessing it? The 3 men that were in the original photograph were the jockey, the owner and the trainer. They did give their names. And you can imagine how they must have felt. Apparently the jockey didn't sustain any major injuries. But the more digging I did, I discovered there were 2 photographs. So one taken almost immediately after the incident, and then they ended up sawing the rail off, so there was a photograph of the horse lying on the ground. But then I discovered that they had actually printed postcards. So I came across those 2 original photographs on eBay that had been for sale. They were no longer for sale, as original postcards from I think they were 1907 they were released. And I couldn't stop thinking how morbid it was to print postcards of this horse. And I also can't stop thinking of how, you know how fast a horse can run when they're racing. But the fact that that pole, that rail, went as far as it did is just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. I've been thinking about it all day. It's completely morbid, it's incredibly sad, it's absolutely horrendous. And I also found the original news article as well in the paper. So, yeah, I just found it interesting how different things were over 100 years ago. I mean, obviously things are different, but the fact that it made the news, the fact that they produced these frickin' postcards is mind-boggling. But now I wonder if the second person who said they had the same photograph, if they actually had a postcard and not a photograph. I mean, they could well have had the photograph as well. They were all from around that area, so potentially the second person's grandfather was there as well. But yeah, I found it really interesting, very interesting. So I think that might be me for the day. What a horrible way to end my video today. Obviously I won't share the photographs. They are there, they are on the internet if you want to go searching for them. I think, you know, I've grown up with horses and I did do vet nursing and studied under an American vet, and the vets that I worked with specialised in livestock. So I have seen some similar sort of injuries in real life, but nowhere near that degree. So I did find it interesting. But yeah, wow. I'm a bit, I don't know. I don't know what I am. Speechless, flabbergasted, stunned, befuddled. I don't even know. Yeah, anyway. So I think I will end here on that note and pack up, take my things back inside, possibly put something on for dinner. Oh yeah, it's 20 to 6 already. Don't know what I'm going to have for dinner. I had last night, I haven't had cooked vegetables, I don't think, for ages. I've been eating salads and pasta and rice and things. Last night I decided to do mashed potato, chicken, a couple of chicken chipolatas in a tomato gravy, and steamed zucchini and carrot. Well, it was all gluten-free, but I don't think my body appreciated the either the tomato or the potato. I don't know. They're both nightshades, so it could have been the both of them. And no, I don't have an allergy to nightshades, but sometimes my body just does not react well, and I felt horrible as soon as I ate it. I got very bloated. I'm still bloated. I feel like a beached whale. And I have, my inflammation's been triggered, and yeah, so now I know why I haven't been eating mashed potato or tomato, cooked tomato like that lately. So I don't know what I'm going to have tonight. I don't eat a lot of meat. If I do, it's usually chicken or turkey. I do want to go tomorrow. My mother bought a turkey and my sister cooked it, and I think my sister's mother-in-law did one as well. Anyway, we had two turkeys. Turkey roast, rolled roasts. One was a thigh, rolled thigh, and one was a breast. And I always forget how nice those rolled roasts are. I don't like whole birds at all. But these rolled roasts, and often you can only get them here around Christmas time. So I'm hoping I'll still be able to get one. I didn't buy one the other day because I didn't have enough room in my freezer for it. But I'm hoping I can still get one to cook up, and then I'll cook it up, cut it up into portion sizes, and then freeze them. Because yeah, there's not a lot that I do eat anymore. Turkey, chicken, that's usually about it. I have had some ham, but only because it was Christmas. I don't usually eat. Anyway, I'm sure you don't want to know about that. I was just looking over at my little cucumber, and it doesn't have any any fruit on it at the moment. There's some little baby ones, but I think the weather's been so bloody dry, they've been dropping off before they mature. They're just little, the mini munches, they're so good. They're crisp and juicy and sweet. Delicious cucumbers. I actually bought some. I bought a couple of plants for my son and his girlfriend for Christmas because they like them too, but oh yeah, there's a couple of little buds on there. Hopefully they won't drop off. It's just been that hot. Anyway, I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me, and if you're interested in that half slip and slip from the beginning, let me know. I will sell those, and possibly the first lace on the large amount I have. I could probably sell a couple of meters of that if anyone's interested. I think that was about it, really. But apart from that, I'm going to get going. I'm going to pack up, take all this stuff back inside, set up in my little corner so I can do some more stitching before I go to bed. Put something on for dinner. I won't be having salad tonight because I ran out of salad yesterday. Mind you, it was grocery day a few days ago and I haven't done any grocery shopping, so I'm running a bit low on some stuff. I don't need a lot, but it'd be nice to have a couple of things there. Anyway, hopefully I'll get quite a bit more done on these needlebooks tonight and I can show you some more tomorrow if I'm not out all day tomorrow doing the shopping. Not that I'll be doing much shopping. What's tomorrow? Monday. No, I was thinking maybe I could go down to the second-hand shop, but they're not. Or are they? Yeah, they are open on Mondays. Mate, that might be a possibility, maybe. Don't know. Don't really have the money to, but I'd like to have a look anyway, if I can get there. Post the parcels. Get some dog food. With any luck, look at the second-hand store. They might even be closed over the Christmas break. A lot of them are closed from like the 25th, 26th of December till about the 6th or 7th of January. But anyway, how many times have I said that now? Ooh. Oh, I've got a cramp in my toes, sorry, and it's really uncomfortable. It'll pass, but goodness. I can't even stand up yet. Oh, it's actually burning. It's a burning sensation. That's a bum. So, as I've been trying to say, thank you for being here with me again today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. If you haven't yet clicked the subscribe button, please do so. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to demonstrate, walk through step by step. As I said yesterday, I do have some ideas that I'd like to do throughout next year. I think I'm procrastinating on them a bit, to be honest. Just because I get myself I overthink it, really. But yeah, and then I've also got that whole thing that I was explaining yesterday, that I've been chosen as an ambassador for a company, and I'm not allowed to disclose that information until the second part, the third part of next year. They've sent me the products to trial to test out. I need to start, I've recorded one video for them. I need to start uploading and recording videos and have all of my videos of their products uploaded before June, I think it is. And then mine aren't published until September next year. So until then, I can't talk about it, but I'm getting quite excited, and I keep going to share some of the products, and I think, oh, I can't do that yet. It's too premature. So anyway, I'm excited about it. At the moment, I did the opening, the box opening, and I've put the box away so I'm not tempted to use the products before I'm supposed to. However, as I just said, I do have to record myself using the products for them beforehand. So look out for that. That will be coming eventually, and it is exciting. I'm actually trying to, the ambassadors that have shared to date that I've seen, there's a pattern of similar work. So I'm trying to think of some things out of the box to use these products. I've got a few ideas, and not that I have to, there's no obligation, but I've never been one to do as everyone else does. Anyway, thank you again. As I've already mentioned, if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, please do so, because that does help me produce more videos, only in the sense that because my phone is so old and barely working, I cannot pre-record and then upload. My phone won't allow me to do that. It's pretty well cactus. But so far, touch wood, it's still allowing me to do live recordings. However, YouTube has currently limited me to how many live recordings I can do until I think I need to have 500 subscribers, and then I'll have unlimited. So I must be getting very, very close to my limit of live recordings, but I haven't hit the 500 subscribers yet. So if it comes to the crunch and I don't have my 500 subscribers, I may not be able to continue to upload videos, which will be a bummer. So, as I mentioned, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, which will enable me to continue to keep recording for now. And as I've already mentioned, if there's anything that you would like me to share, anything you'd like me to do tutorials on, upload, walk through step by step, anything that you can think of that you think that I might be able to show you, please let me know in the comments, and I will address that request as soon as I can. I think that's probably it. I think I've covered everything for today. I'm just prattling now. So yeah, once again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please have a good rest of your day / weekend. Please be safe and be kind. And I'll see you next time.